Chapter 16. San Francisco, California, 1896. As we descended from the cosmic skies, my counterpart, Xylerin, a radiant being with iridescent wings and multifaceted eyes, emerged beside me. Around us, our fellow cosmic travelers, each a shimmering orb of energy with a form chosen for this earthly sojourn, radiated an aura of celestial anticipation. We shared a profound fascination with the enigmatic Earth, and San Francisco beckoned as a cosmic beacon of curiosity. After we landed, the first thing that struck us was the vibrant energy of this city. It was a bustling metropolis, filled with humans of all shapes and sizes, hurrying about their daily routines. We decided to explore the city on foot, taking in all the sights and sounds as we went along. Xylerin and I had taken on human forms for this journey. He chose to be a tall, muscular man with jet black hair and piercing blue eyes, while I chose to be a petite woman with long dark hair and bright green eyes. My son chose to be a seal instead, which caused us to lose much efficiency, so I was forced to send him back into the local star's orbit until he was ready to make better decisions. Our fellow cosmic travelers had also taken on human forms. Some had chosen to be adult-aged men or women, while others had chosen to be children or elderly. Each one of them had no challenge blending into the diverse crowd that made up San Francisco. As we walked through the busy streets, we couldn't help but marvel at the spectacle of human culture. We saw people of different races, religions, and backgrounds coexisting peacefully. It was both fascinating and heartwarming to witness such diversity. One thing that caught our attention was the technology humans had invented. It spanned from trains to electricity to telephones. We were amazed by both their ingenuity and creativity. But amidst all this wonderment, we also noticed some darker aspects of human society. There were beggars on street corners, and other people living in poverty and struggling to survive. And there were those who seemed consumed by greed and power, using their influence to oppress others. Xylerin turned to me with a troubled expression on his face. "Why do you think they live like this? Why don't they use their technology for everyone's benefit?" he asked. I sighed, realizing that even though we were advanced beings from another galaxy, there were still many things about humanity that we didn't understand. "Perhaps they are still in the early stages of their evolution as a species," I replied thoughtfully. "Or perhaps it is just part of their nature." We continued our exploration of the city, stopping to admire the future site of the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. As we walked along the bustling streets of San Francisco, Xylerin and I continued to observe the humans and their way of life. Despite all their advancements, there were still many inequalities and struggles that existed within their society. "Perhaps indeed they are too fresh out of their caves," I mused, trying to make sense of it all. "Or perhaps the oxygen level here is too thin for productive patterns of thought." Xylerin nodded in agreement, his expression still troubled. We both knew that our own civilization had its flaws and challenges, but somehow the problems on Earth seemed more difficult to comprehend. As we continued to walk through the city, we noticed a sudden shift in the atmosphere. The once vibrant and bustling streets seemed to quiet down, and there was a sense of unease lingering in the air. I heard one human refer to this particular phenomenon as microclimate. Xylerin and I exchanged glances, both sensing that something was amiss. We followed our intuition, and soon came upon a group of protesters gathered in front of a grand building. "What is this about?" Xylerin asked, his brow furrowed with confusion. We approached one of the demonstrators who held up a sign that said, "Save our planet." The woman explained to us that there were powerful corporations destroying the environment for their own gain. She passionately urged us to join their cause and help protect the planet for future generations. It was then that we saw it the bleak future of Earth, if nothing was done to stop these destructive actions. It was a shocking sight: cities destroyed, landscapes barren, and an overall desolate world. "Do you see this too?" Xylerin asked me, his voice filled with concern. I nodded grimly, knowing that this was not just a possibility, but a guaranteed future if changes weren't made. We stayed with the protesters for some time, learning more about their cause and offering what little assistance we could. It was disheartening to see such disregard for the planet's well-being, but it also gave us hope to see humans fighting for what they believed in. As we left the protesters behind and continued our journey through San Francisco, we couldn't help but to feel conflicted. On one hand, we had seen all the amazing things humanity had accomplished, their advancements in technology, their diverse cultures coexisting peacefully, but on the other hand, we had also seen their flaws and destructive tendencies. Xyleron's piercing gaze met mine, his determination shining through like a beacon in the darkness. "We must take action," he declared firmly. "We cannot simply stand by and watch as this magnificent planet is ravaged." I nodded solemnly, fully understanding our duty to continue our existence in human-like forms and guide the advancement of their technology and society from within this bustling metropolis. San Francisco, unaware of its destiny at the time, was poised to become the first ever interplanetary city on Earth. The air buzzed with an electric energy, a sense of anticipation and potential that seemed to permeate every inch of the city. And as we stood there, extraterrestrial beings in disguise, we knew that our future actions would shape the course of history for humanity.